Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the global Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
Dumelang Absheni Ralocha Sanwanani. Hello everyone, my name is Naledi Mfoloe and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the latest edition of the African Diaspora News channel, where we unravel the stories that shape our world and our communities. Today we dive deep into the currents of information, from the pulse of politics to the heartbeat of entertainment. We've got it all covered, so please stay tuned for news experience like no other. Today we confront a deeply unsettling development in the arena of education and cultural preservation: the decision to ban the work of a Black South African poet, Don Mantira, from schools. Now, this choice reportedly made by the Education Department due to concerns that Mantira's work might offend white children carries a profound implication for our understanding of freedom of expression, historical education, and the racial sensitivity in contemporary South Africa. Now, Don Mantira, who was a figure in South African literature and journalism, his life and work are exemplary of the resistance against apartheid, which was a system of institutionalized racial segregation and discrimination that took place in South Africa from 1948 until the early 90s. Now, Mantira's poetry, rich in imagery and emotional depth, is actually embedded in the narrative of a country still striving for justice and equality. Now, Mantira's voice was powerful and unyielding, particularly during the apartheid era. And through his pen, he captured the anguish, the resilience, and the hope of Black South Africans. Despite being restricted from political activities from 1973 until 1982, he continued to wield his words as weapons against oppression. His contributions to literature earned him numerous accolades, including the prestigious Noma Award for Publishing in Africa. Now, according to South African political writer Kim Heller, the Department of Education has chosen to exclude Mantira's works from school curriculums, branding them as potentially offensive to white children. Now, this decision provokes an array of ethical and educational questions. Should we shield students from painful truths of apartheid, or should we instead equip them with knowledgeable understanding of the country's history, no matter how uncomfortable it may be? Now, this is food for thought. Let's have a look.
But we are in such a state of capture that Don Mantira's work cannot be taught in South African schools, because the Department of Education said they may just offend white children and inflict guilt upon the white child. Such is the state of capture that and mind capture and ideological culture that this government has placed us in, that they turned down the work of one of our greatest ever thought leaders. The same is for Steve Biko.
I believe that censoring Don Mantira's works suggests an unwillingness to engage with the painful chapters of South Africa's history. This reluctance to face the truths of apartheid era denies students, especially Black students, to the opportunity to understand the full scope of their nation's journey. Mantira's writing is a vital record of the resistance against apartheid. Now, personally for me, I remember being in high school, and as part of the history class, we were never taught the history of South Africa. I had to go learn who Steve Biko was or Nelson Mandela was by myself. Instead, we were taught about the history of the Nazis, and if anything, this shows that the system is built to erase our Black history from educational curriculum and erase a crucial part of the collective memory. Now, the notion of white fragility does come into play, right? Which is a concept explored by Robin DiAngelo in her book, White Fragility. It describes the defensive reactions that some white people exhibit when confronted with racial stress. Now, if the reason for banning Mandela's work is indeed to protect white children from discomfort, it reflects a deeper societal issue where acknowledging systematic racism and historical injustice is met with resistance. I think that an effective education system should not shy away from these difficult conversations. It should challenge students to engage with and actually understand the historical context, fostering critical thinking and empathy. Shielding students from the reality of apartheid and its aftermath only perpetuates ignorance and hindering processes towards a more inclusive and just society. Mandela's works such as Memory is the Weapon and Azanian Love Song are no relics of the past, but are powerful commentaries on the human spirit and the fight for justice. In a nation still grappling with inequality and social division, his writings remain very relevant. They provide a lens through which modern South Africans can examine the legacies of apartheid and the ongoing struggles for equality. Now, in celebrating Mandela's legacy, we honor the resilience and the courage of those who fought against oppressive regime. His poetry serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made and the enduring strength of the human spirit. Banning his work from schools undermines his legacy and deprives students of the wisdom and the insights his writings actually offer. In my opinion, by excluding his works from the curriculum, the education department fails in its duty to present a balanced and truthful account of the nation's history. Instead of promoting ignorance, educational institutions should equip teachers with the resources and the training needed to guide students through these challenging topics, fostering an environment where honest dialogue can actually thrive. Now, culturally and racially diverse literature plays an essential role in education. It ensures that all students see themselves reflected in the stories they read, validating the experiences and actually fostering a sense of belonging. It exposes them to different perspectives, broadening their understanding of the world. Now, if we're being honest, banning the works of a Black poet like Don Mandela diminishes the richness of South African literature. It sends a message that Black voices can be silenced, which contradicts the principles of inclusivity and equality in South Africa. Schools should celebrate diverse literacy contributions and integrate them into their curriculum to actually provide a more holistic education. Now, as we advocate for the inclusion of Mandela's work in educational curriculum, let us remember that his writings are a testament to the power of truth and the enduring spirit of resistance. By embracing his legacy, we honor the struggles and the triumphs of those who fought for justice and paved the way for a more empathetic and inclusive society. Now, with that being said, what are your thoughts in regards to this? We want to hear from you. Let's engage in the comments section, shall we? And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That's it from me. Till we meet again, it is goodbye.